And good afternoon and welcome to the Food Show. It's great to have you here with us on a very, very warm day, no doubt. I'm looking at the temperature inside here, about 29 degrees. The button tells me when I press it. And that makes it pretty darn hot when you're outside. But we'll be cool and relaxed here in the studio because the Food Show's kind of a laid-back kind of show. Craig, how are you there in the booth, working the operations buttons? I'm doing well. But I'm a little disoriented this weekend because there's just so much going on in the city. We've got so much stuff happening in both of our cities, in both Waterloo and Kitchener, so it's hard to know which end is up sometimes at this time of the year with all the events that are going on. On the show today, and we'll be talking a little bit about that, on the show today we have our very special guests in studio, Donna Marie Pye and Maria Berjowski of the brand new Relish Cooking Studio. So we're glad to have you guys alongside here in the studio. Thank you for joining us. It's a hot day, it's a busy weekend, and we appreciate the time.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, we're happy to be here.
You're a new organization.
Pleasure to be here.
You're a new organization, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that a little bit down the road. But it's a brand new operation, and Donna Marie, I certainly know your name from the cooking world here locally. Yep. So it's great that you're able to sort of branch out and give yourself sort of your own presence along with Maria. That's wonderful. And we should point out that Donna Marie is a local author as well, and she's cooking. I'm just holding this up because one of the things that's cool about the Food Show now is you can watch it online at 570news.com if you go to the website, and then you can look for the webcast button and click on that, and you'll be able to see what's happening here in the studio. And I'm just holding up, for the radio folks, I'm holding up a book called Canada's Slow Cooker Winners, 300 Easy and Satisfying Recipes. This is a Donna Marie Pye creation. Is this the latest one? Robert Rose publication? It's the latest one?
That's the latest one.
But it's only one of many, though, isn't it?
It's one of three. Yeah,
one of three.
Exactly. One of three.
And you're sort of now known as a renowned sort of slow cooker expert, which is a popular cooking mode, I think, for people that are busy and brings out some of the deeper, earthier flavors over longer periods of time and with less fuss, I guess, because you can turn it on and let it go.
Turn it on, walk away, and exactly. Yeah. So, that's right.
We will also make a quick call to a regular personality who is heard here on 570 News. That is Brian Plouffe. He's a man whose name and voice is heard quite a bit on the station on the occasion of his 15th anniversary with King Street Trio Uptown. He also has King Crab Oyster Bar and Grill in Victoria Street in Kitchener. So he'll be joining us just to tell us a little bit about what it means to be kicking around for 15 years. I mean, restaurants can have a very short life, and I think one that gets through 5 years is done quite well in a very, very competitive and difficult venue, a business to run. So Brian will be telling us a little bit about what's happening at King Street Trio Uptown. I don't know if you've been to the new restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lovely, great location right in the sort of the heart of Waterloo, and they've done just a fabulous job.
Yeah,
decorating.
I've eaten there, and I quite enjoyed it. I love the decor. I was admiring the structure on the ceiling of the wall.
Yeah, it's a sort of old barn board, I think.
Yeah.
That sort of wavy, almost like a little roller coaster.
Yeah, like
thing.
A roller coaster.
But
exactly.
You know what it does? It mimics the train tracks that are just outside those. So some really neat thematic ideas by the design people.
That's what I understand. Yeah.
And there's some old tin tiles that they've got from a ceiling somewhere that they've put on. So it's just great to hear. It'll be great to hear from Brian about what he thinks about after 15 years of being in business. And he's been at a couple different locations throughout the region as well. Last weekend, there was a local cake baking and decorating company holding a competition for professional cake decorators like the Food Boss and those kinds of people that are on TV to raise money for Nutrition for Learning. And we're going to check in with Justin Kozak, and he'll update us on how the event went. We'll have a few photographs for you if you're watching online to see what some of these spectacular cakes looked like. And, of course, that they raised some money for Nutrition for Learning, which is a great, great organization. I had the opportunity to pop by after the show last week and took a look at some of these cakes. They're absolutely amazing.
They're unbelievable what they can do.
And like there's moving parts in them, and there's this. It was bizarre. I mean, it's just amazing. It really is an art form unto itself. It's not like just searing off some scallops and making a nice plate presentation at a restaurant. These are artists as well as cooks.
It's a lot of work too. I've done a couple of classes for cake decorating, and it takes a lot of time to get a cake that nice.
Yeah, and of course you have to have the basics down, like being able to make the fondant or whatever is called to cover these things. And it all has to be edible too, I think. There can't be any stuff that isn't. So some of the stuff they do, I mean, I was looking at some flowers that were on a countertop, and I mean, I couldn't tell that they weren't real flowers. Right. It's really quite spectacular. Speaking of baking, we also will have Melissa Iskarevich, also known as the Bourbon Baker for people in the Twitterverse out there. Now, she's doing something pretty special, too, with food and designed to sort of help community folks that are in need of help throughout the region. People that have a little tougher time, I guess, of it than most of us who are quite lucky to be able to feed our families and so on. And she's just sort of going around the city dropping off little morsels and little nuggets of baking and stuff that she's prepared. But she's got a new program coming up that I'm excited to be able to share with her, and she'll be talking to us a little later in the hour to tell us a little bit more about that and also how you can get involved. Now, for you guys, I just wanted to point out, you must sort of get out and about quite a bit, Donna Marie, because you're sort of involved in the cooking industry and the food business.
Yeah.
What did you think? Did you go to the Rib Fest this weekend?
I fested everything.
It was a festful weekend?
It was a festful weekend. I said I rib fested, I jazz fested, and then I Hoother fested afterwards.
All in one night.
All in one night.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's pretty busy. What did you think of the Rib Fest? Can you give us a little bit of a synopsis, an overview, evaluation of what you found? You can be honest.
Yeah.
But just remember, any letters are being directed to you.
I know, exactly. That's right. Well, I think it's great that a city like Kitchener and Waterloo both have some fantastic community events that we can host things like this. And so in that respect, it was wonderful. It was really busy. Maria and I were both busy. There, so busy and really hot. I was, we had some ribs. We had actually, we had Boss Hogs.
Yeah.
Boss Hogs.
We don't pull any punches here at the food show.
Boss is special or something?
Boss is special. Everything. A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything. Yeah. So we had some chicken.
You get to check it all out.
Check it all out. Chicken, ribs, pulled pork, beans, coleslaw, the whole shebang for $25.
Well, yeah, I guess if you're going to wait in those long lineups, you might as well
get
it all. Yeah. Enough to take home.
Was it what was the best? Was it the chicken? Was it the pork?
I'd say the pulled pork was probably for me was the favorite. Then we had some beer. There's a new Waterloo Dark. Actually, Waterloo Dark is making a new. Well, it's not Waterloo Dark. It's
from Brick Brewing.
Brick, thank you. Sorry.
Waterloo Dark
I don't know if I still have one of their lines.
A little too much of the one.
Yeah, exactly. They have a new sort of a German name. I actually didn't write it down, but it's a lemonade beer.
Oh, that's Radlermass.
Thank you.
It was very good.
Really good. Yeah, exactly.
It has to do something with cycling, and I'll have to hope that a German person can call in and tell me what Radlermass means.
Yes.
But apparently there was a cycling event happening somewhere, and the cyclists showed up, and this guy prepared this special beer for them, which had some lemonade in it or something like that. And I'm probably way off base, but did you like it?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Because it's very expensive per can.
I did really like it. I kind of like a lighter beer anyways. And I like that citrus mixed with the beer. So I think we both like that one.
Yeah, I liked that one the best of the ones we tried. I only tried two.
We just tried a couple, so I mean.
I really did like that one. And the price was all the same of all the beers that you try. So
yeah, exactly. So that was good.
Good chance to try the more expensive ones.
Yeah. Really enjoyed. I love jazz, so I mean, we then headed up to the jazz festival.
Right. Is there a food component to that?
They have some, not as much. They do have some kiosks at the back, so if you need a sort of more of a snack to grab something, you can. Some beer and cold drinks and what have you, but not as big a food component on that one.
First and foremost, yeah.
No, exactly. But we just saw the headline show with Kelly Lee Evans, who sang, and she was fantastic, really wonderful Juno Award winner. So really enjoyed her. And then over to the Hoother for.
Now there's a place that has some more kind of. Great sort of heavy pub. Waterloo County Fair. They've got ribs and all kinds of sort of products that you sort of equate with this region for. And of course they brew their own beer as well, and you got some great flavors. And it must have been pretty busy there
well,
too,
it was
I would imagine.
We were hoping to sit outside on the patio, but it was packed, so we went indoors, and we kind of got there just at the right time, didn't we? Because
we were the first ones there. By the time we left, it was full.
Ah.
So everyone had the same idea after the Jazz Festival.
It's a busy time of the year. There's no doubt. Events like that are great with the patios open and warmer weather and a chance for people to get out and eat outside and have a few cold beverages. I was just thinking here, I'm going to bring up while we're talking about beer, I'm talking about an iPhone. It's not really an app, but someone has finally acknowledged the intersection of beer connoisseurship and smartphone culture with what may be the best iPhone case ever made. The Opena, this is according to the Sydney Morning Herald, the Opena combines the protection of an iCase phone with the utility of a bottle opener.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's almost too simple to not. It sounds too simple to not already exist, but somehow it's only been just now that it was invented by an Australian couple, or a couple of guys, Rob Ward and Chris Peters of Australia. Now, the Australians are big beer drinkers, so I figured that they would leave it to them to come up with this kind of creation. You can pre-order yours in black or white for just $40.
Wow, that's amazing.
The Opena, and it's part of your
You only need to carry the one thing.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel a little bit better about that. Maybe I don't know. If you got those keychains that have for your car keys, and then there's a bottle opener. Those two things seem somehow
I know they don't seem to go well together,
but
do
the phone and the beer thing, maybe those people will stop talking on their phone and use it as an opener.
Crack one open.
Get off the road while you're doing it. And all that
that's
kind of stuff. But I thought that was kind of funny, and it is a surprise to me that this is the first one on the market, because it would have seemed to me with all the other things that you can get with your phone that you'd have something that had to do with a beer opener. But that's. Well, there you go.
There you go. Yeah.
I'm speaking with Donna Marie Pye of Relish Cooking Studio, along with her partner in crime, I guess. Business partner, Maria Berchowski. They're going to be talking to us a little bit more in depth about this particular new business. We're just talking months here, I guess, or weeks even, that you've been open.
Well, we're not even open yet.
Okay.
No,
so, we're getting the preview here.
You're getting the preview.
Food show exclusive.
Right. Exactly.
I'm Andrew Coppolino. This is the Food Show. Time for a short break. When we come back, we'll talk with Brian Plouffe and King Street Trio's 15th anniversary. Too Nice to Slice raises money for nutrition for learning. You're listening to 570 News.
This is the Food Show with Andrew Coppolino. To call Andrew, 519-570-2545. By cell, star 570. Or toll free, 1-800-570-5715. On 570 News.
He likes bread and butter. He likes toast and jam. That's what baby feeds him. He's a loving man.
Well, I like bread and butter. I like toast and jam. That's what baby feeds
That's not me singing. I never know whether they're talking about me or not. I do like bread and butter, but it's certainly not me singing.
Okay.
Absolutely not. Although he's not bad, though. That guy screaming.
Catchy little tune.
How many songs are there out there with the food lyrics in them?
Well, I've got a food. I got a musician, a musicology guy.
Okay.
That he's made up a whole bunch of CD, burned a whole bunch of songs for me on CD, and I think I've put him to the task to collect some food songs.
Okay.
Oh wow.
And I'm going to put together a show. See if you can come up with 10 or 15, just to then we won't play them all the way through, but we'll give you a hint of the different kinds of songs that are out there.
Whose line is that anyway?
Well, I'm thinking
whatever,
thinking of
the lyrics or whatever,
Dean Martin, when the moon hits your pie.
Yeah.
I like a
you know what? Maria and I
Those
had
are big ones.
That's a big one. We did tomatoes one year, and I put a CD together for her mom and dad after we did it, and that was the song we used in the background tracks.
There you go.
It's beautiful.
Okay, so I have my musicologist working on that, so stay tuned.
Okay, good.
Stay tuned.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Well, there we go. That's Donna Marie Pye and Maria Borjowski of Relish Cooking Studio. We're in the studio here at 570 News, and we're really glad to be able to talk to now someone from Too Nice to Slice. His name is Justin Kozak. We talked to him earlier. He was responsible for, and his cohort there at Too Nice to Slice, for putting together a big cake competition, and it was a very successful weekend for them. And Justin's on the line to tell us a little bit about it. Hi, Justin. How are you?
You there?
Are you there, Justin? Have we got Justin, Craig? Good. How are you doing? It was a pretty successful weekend for Too Nice to Slice and the big cake decorating event. Tell us a little bit about how the weekend went, and what kind of things happened, and what kind of drama was there. Are you there, Justin? We seem to be losing Justin. I guess, Craig, is that a problem with the phones? Or is it a problem with me? It might be a problem with me. Yeah. We're trying to find Justin. Anyway, okay. They had a People's Choice Awards, which apparently there were 600 ballots cast. And they decided that there was 1, 2, and 3 winners. There was prizes of over $10,000.
Wow.
Dollars, which was really, really great. And they raised, I think, $1,000 or so for. Are you back there, Justin?
I'm back, Andrew. Sorry
okay,
about that.
So that's okay. Tell us how the weekend went with the cake competition. How many people attended? Give us some of the stats. Paint a little picture for us of the cake decorating competition. I don't think we're getting Justin. He must be on a cell phone.
There's like a lag on my phone. If you can hear me, it's kind of like I kind of hear two voices. I'll tell you about the weekend if that's what you're asking.
Yep, go ahead.
We had a great turnout. We ended up having, I think, approximately 250 people through the doors to come check out the competition. All together, Nutrition for Learning. For Nutrition for Learning, we had a great cause going, and like you said, we raised about just under $1,000 for it. So I was speaking with Brian, the representative, and just the amount of meals that they can get kids with that. Their school meal program will go a long way. So it was a great day, and had a lot of great cakes on display for everyone to see.
What was the winning cake?
What's that, sorry?
What was the winning cake? The
winning cake, it was great. We had it was the category that we gave it was fantasy wedding cake, and actually a lady from Cambridge named Angela, absolutely amazing artist. She had a very unique kind of like black, pink, and white. Those are the colors that the couple really wanted to see, and she used a lot of great. Like she's an excellent sugar flower artist, so it was covered in sugar flowers. She had a lot of great work with like different types of molds that she used. And I think it ended up being, it was about 5 tiers high, so it was definitely a stunning piece to see.
Well, thanks a lot, Justin. We're losing you. I hope you're able to hear us say thank you for joining us and congratulations on a great event.
No problem. And, thanks a lot, Andrew.
Well done on behalf of Nutrition for Learning. That's Justin Kozak. You can check out more by going toonicetoslice.ca and finding out about some beautiful cakes and cake decorating stuff that's happening there. Now, I don't know if that kind of talent is part of your pool, I guess, you guys. That's a very extremely sort of technical expertise.
It's very specialized. It's a little bit outside of our expertise.
Yeah, you can be a cook, but to be one of these cake decorators, you have a different. Yeah, exactly.
So that's part of what we like to do is bring in other people to the cooking studio, because we can't possibly be the experts in everything. Wow. But if we are a central location for people to be able to learn different things and bring in some of these people who are experts, people really seem to enjoy that. So.
Well, I've got an expert on the line right now. He's an expert restaurateur. He's been in this region now for a special number of years, and it's a voice that's very popular and familiar to people here on 570 News and perhaps elsewhere. And it is Brian Plouffe of King Street Trio Uptown and King Crab Oyster Bar. Hello, Brian.
Hi, Andrew. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you? Are you enjoying this hot weather?
Yeah, actually had a staff picnic for the Waterloo Public Library, but I'm getting the same echo that your previous caller had.
All right. Well, we'll try to keep it brief. Just tell us a little bit about what the special anniversary is for KST and how you're celebrating it and what you think of it all.
Well, sure. I mean, our 15th anniversary of King Street Trio just passed on July the 8th. And really hearing myself in the background, so I'll try to stay brief.
Okay.
We are offering a great value. If you come in through the month of July, Andrew, we're going to give you a voucher to come back again in August. That's going to give you $10 off your dining experience per guest or $5 off at lunch. So we're just celebrating our 15 years of serving Kitchener-Waterloo and look forward to lots of people coming to see our new restaurant and being rewarded with the vouchers.
Just to sort of in a very general way, how have you seen cooking, not generally with your restaurant, but overall in the Waterloo restaurant scene? How have you seen that change over this time period?
Probably the lag is because I just finished hearing the question. Certainly there's been a lot of development with food.
Okay.
Yeah, hi, Craig. I can hear you, too. I just keep getting an echo. So, Andrew, I'm going to thank you for the time. I really can't carry on a conversation.
No,
it's not
we
working.
understand.
If
Thanks.
you guys sort it out, give me a call back.
Yeah.
I'll take the call for sure.
All right. Thanks, man.
And thanks for your time today.
Right. That is Brian Plouffe of King Street here, uptown in Waterloo. Sorry we had those technical difficulties. I don't know. Maybe it's the humidity. Who can tell? Maybe it's a little bit of cake icing that got into it. Anyway, it's one of those restaurants. I've followed its progress throughout the sort of the city. I think it started in Kitchener. It went to University and Weber.
Yeah.
And it spent a good long time there. They closed up shop there and moved it back down into the central part of Waterloo.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about before, it's just a great decor inside.
Yeah.
They're producing some really cool food. They're doing a lot of local stuff. They got a smoker out back. They're doing all this kinds of stuff. But to me, the sort of thing that I've noticed over living most of my life here is just the way that the whole cooking environment has evolved in the Waterloo region. It's become more diverse. It's become more ethnically based. It's become better technical execution. There's a lot of interesting restaurants across a range of different flavors and kinds of cooking. Yeah. And that's just something that I think is really, really good for the whole region. I mean, you think about the idea of tourism and you think the idea of, well, what are people coming into this city for? They've got to have a good culinary experience when they're here. And I think we're getting that more and more. And this is obviously going to lead up to what we're going to be talking about, you guys, for the Relish Cooking Studio. It's just part of a healthy food culture around us. And I don't know, on any day in that section of Waterloo, you could pick 5 or 6 different restaurants. There's like everything
Great
from
ones.
So this is all part of the healthy environment. And that was just go ahead.
No, I was just going to say what's also I think so important for people to realize is, and what I've noticed certainly in the restaurant business is that more and more what we're doing is really focusing on that whole local thing. And really trying to capture not only the restaurant scene, but that we have such great products grown around this region as well. And the restaurants are tying in so much with the local producers. I mean, I was just even at Oliver and Bonacini the other night, and I had a fantastic lamb burger. And the waiter serving me said that at the other Oliver and Bonacini's, even in Toronto, they're not using local product, but here in Waterloo, they can get fabulous local lamb. So we're getting it. We're getting it here, which is so great.
That's a real evolution, isn't it? And it's partly when you talk to people from Toronto, and this is something that people always go, we'll go to Toronto, we'll go to these restaurants. And sure, they've got great restaurants. There's no doubt about it. Some are world class. But one of the things that people in Toronto are always impressed by is how we can be eating at a restaurant in downtown Kitchener or downtown Waterloo, and then we can get in the car or whatever, cab or bus or whatever, and you're out into the farm territory within 10 minutes.
Within minutes.
Really, I mean, St. Jacobs is just around the corner. You're in the middle of an apple orchard. You're picking corn or you're picking strawberries or whatever you're doing, at Hurley's or someplace. And the people in Toronto, they don't have that opportunity.
They don't know that.
You can travel for a half an hour and not be anywhere near being out
in another
city,
suburb.
Stuck on the Don Valley Parkway.
Yeah, exactly. And I was actually on a farm tour recently through Ontario Farm Animal Council, and it is astounding. I mean, it's not astounding because I've been in the agricultural industry for a long time. But what's so amazing is the science behind growing food, and it's just something that I don't think the average person realizes. I mean, these people, men and women who are out there growing our food, it is so important for them to grow healthy food because we have to eat it. That's what we're demanding. So they are doing incredible things in the farming industry to produce products that are really wonderful for what we're getting, and we're so lucky to be surrounded with it here.
We're very fortunate. And I think you're right about this. One of the things that's I think come up recently, within the last 5 or 6 years, is this sensitivity to sustainability, how animals are treated, but also how what are we doing with crops? I've always it strikes me as very odd when I hear someone talking about heirloom tomatoes. Oh, we've got heirloom tomatoes now. And I'm thinking, well, wait a second, they're not heirloom tomatoes. They're tomatoes. Everything else after that has been these monstrosities, these stupid creations, these perfect tomatoes that look like round baseballs. Like that's not a tomato.
No,
it's an engineered product. So when you say heirloom tomato, you're saying to me this is a retro thing.
A retro thing.
How it was supposed to be in the first place.
Exactly. We're the ones that changed it and made them into these things that they're really not. So I think that part of that food science stuff that you're talking about, Donna Marie, is absolutely, we can see it at work, at home, right here in our region. And like I said, it's just minutes up the highway. So I always encourage people, when you're buying produce, know who the producer is.
Yes.
Make sure you ask the producer questions and be educated and try to get stuff that's local. Don't buy California strawberries.
It's easy for us to get it here. It really is.
We're lucky,
I mean, we are really lucky,
And I'm lucky to be having Donna Marie Pye and Maria Berjowski of Relish Cooking Studio here in the studio with me. We're going to be talking with them in just a few moments. But we do have to take a break, so stay tuned. When we come back, it'll be a relish. We hope you'll relish that. This is 570 News.
Being a 570 News Insider means you get the inside scoop on winning. There's something new and fun every week. Become a 570 News Insider Club member and redeem your credits for chances to win fantastic prizes.
This week, 570 News celebrates the newly opened King Street Trio Uptown by awarding our lucky listeners the chance to win dinner out in historic Uptown Waterloo, or enter to win a family 4-pack of tickets to Darien Lake Theme Park Resort.
For your as well, find out where the best food is. From restaurant reviews to the fun of food from around the region to around the world. This is The Food Show with Andrew Coppolino on 570 News.
And welcome back once again to The Food Show. We do go around the world. We do go around the region, although we're not doing that so much this week. I just wanted to point out some summer events that still are coming up at Nick and Nat's Uptown 21, one of my favorite restaurants. And I think it's in agreement that a lot of people find some of the stuff that Benninger's doing there is extraordinary and unique to this region and just top-notch. Beer masters and winemakers dinners go on from June through September. And I was just at the Rosewood Estates Winery and Meadery from Niagara region and had a great meal there. And Lally Vineyard and Mill Street Brewery ones are coming up. These are just great events, and you get to sample a little bit of beverage and a little bit of some of the wonderful things that the kitchen puts out at Uptown 21. So visit uptown21.ca and find out if you can get involved and visit for a meal. And a lot of the restaurants are doing these now. They're more and more popular, and it's just part of the healthy, happy kind of food environment that we've just been talking about. Now, healthy, happy has to be in your vocabulary recently now because you guys, busy probably too, and maybe a little bit stressed.
Yes,
not always happy.
Because opening up a new venture such as yours is never an easy thing. There's always details to see to. It's like opening a restaurant. There's just so many things to think about. Well, it's called Relish Cooking Studio, and it's, of course, info can be gotten by going to relishcookingstudio.com. That website will be up soon. But Donna Marie, how do you decide that you're going to embark on a project like this?
Well, it's actually been a desire of mine for probably 20 years to do this. When I used to work for the various food marketing boards that I work for, I would often go and give presentations and cooking classes at various cooking schools around Ontario, and I just, especially the private ones where people had their own, I loved the environment, and so I've continued to do that over the years. But it was always a desire. My dad was a small businessman. Maria's dad was a small businessman. And so I've always had that in my blood to be able to do that, and so it was just. The desire was always there. It was just all about timing and raising a family at the same time. And I think Maria was sort of always in the same boat. We met through our kids. They had similar interests, and that's how we actually met. And then just found we had a similar passion for food.
Maria Berjowski, one of the partners here. What? Give us just an overview of what's going to happen here at the studio when it does open.
Okay, well, when it does open, hopefully that'll be by the end of August, and we'll be able to do kind of a soft opening of our retail part of the business. So we'll have all our retail out, and we have very top line cookware, cookbooks. Obviously, we'll have some slow cooker cookbooks from a local author, and
just happens to be.
Yeah, and one part of the business that I'm very excited about is that we're going to be getting very high-end ingredients to go into the recipes that we will use in our cooking classes also, and then people will know that they can get them right there if they want to do the recipe at home.
Okay,
so we try to make it so that they can get everything that they need for for doing the recipes, right?
Is
at the store.
that the sort of the defining feature here? I'm just thinking about other competitive businesses. And obviously food is so hot right now that the market isn't at the point of saturation yet. What's the defining feature then? What's the differentiating note, I guess, in your shop that say some other one doesn't? What do you see yourself at? What angle or sort of or hook do you have for the customers?
I think our biggest draw for the customers is our cooking classes. And we've done some around, and people know us. So we're going to have everything available. That's going to be the biggest thing, is the cooking classes. People are going to want to take the recipes home and be able to do them at home. So they're going to have everything available there. They'll see how we use it. They'll be able to play with the products at the store. They might be able to take some home just to try and recreate the magic at home.
Recreate the magic. Sounds good. So Donna Marie, is it a will it be like a one-on-one or group of 3 people or group of 10 people? Is there like an industrial kitchen there where they each have a workspace?
So we've just put in a demonstration kitchen. We're not doing a large hands-on space. I really enjoy doing the demonstration style. We have opportunity in certain experiences where you can do a hands-on experience, but in a very small setting. Our kitchen island will seat up to 10, and then we have space for probably another, hopefully 4 to 6. We just have to kind of wait and see till the space is all finished. But it's a very intimate setting, and that's really what we wanted people to have, was that really, we built it so that you're going to feel like you're in our own kitchen at home. It's not an industrial kitchen. We didn't want to have an industrial kitchen. We wanted you to feel really comfortable that you didn't have to have a super high-end stove to make anything or anything like that. So we have beautiful new appliances, but by no means are they industrial. But it's a very comfortable, intimate setting, and that's really what we wanted to kind of achieve. So we're really pleased. We're in an old house, so it just kind of adds to the ambiance of the whole experience.
Those
as
old
well.
houses have really nice bones, don't
It
they?
does. It
Sometimes
has wonderful bones.
creaky, kind of fragile bones.
No,
They need some fixing.
Yeah, we actually, it's kind of funny. We actually know the history of the house, which is really kind of fun. So there's lots of when the minute we walked into the space, we just had a really good feeling about it, and so we hope that that's gonna, when you start a new venture, it's a big risk, and we've certainly had. We have the emotional roller coaster, like, yes, this is great, and then, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're doing this. So
now, part of the way, I guess, which will the way in which you're going to approach this is to offer a variety of different cooking-based components, and our webcast people will be able to watch. You'll maybe take us through some of the products that we can see online. If you're watching at 570news.com and on our webcast, but for people on the radio, you can sort of describe what are the kind of equipment that people can buy there, what are the kind of products that people can gather. So maybe just go through sort of the general sort of scope of what's available and what people can think about if they come in to visit.
Okay, well, we sort of have, as Maria mentioned, we have 4 components. We have the cooking classes, we have what we call Relish Retail, which is our cookbooks, our cookware, our cook's tools, so to speak, and then our food ingredients. So those are kind of really the 4 things. So I have just brought a little sampling. We're just starting to get in some of our product line. So, for instance, from the cookware point of view, we have Le Creuset is one of our the lines that we will be carrying.
Very popular
which
line.
is really popular.
Very popular.
Really what we wanted to do was really carry lines of products that we actually love to use ourselves. So Le Creuset is something I've been using for quite a few years, and it's got a fabulous name from the cast iron cookware standpoint. But they have in the last.
You only need to buy one of those.
You
in your
only
life.
need, and that's the important thing. We really want people to know you don't need to come and buy a whole set of pots and pans. That it's really important to just invest in some key pieces. So that is one of those things where you would just make that investment one piece at a time, you know, and that's kind of how I've done it, and I really encourage people to do the same thing.
And I see some pretty interesting looking little jars and bottles there.
Yeah,
Some
exactly.
product.
So we've got
so that's the food product.
the food products. We've looked around for some local products, some Ontario-based products. We've got Mrs. McGarrigle's mustard, which is a wonderful line of mustards from Merrickville, Ontario.
Okay.
We've got some Madagascar vanilla, which obviously not local, but
Well, that's in the east. It's in the east or the west end, isn't it?
The west end, yeah, exactly. We've got a wonderful line that we're partnering with a company out of Toronto, Serafina Foods, that carries a wonderful line of olive oils and balsamic vinegars that are produced in Italy, but we actually get a chance to actually meet the producer of those products. And from his farm, same with the oils. And we're going to be able to run the olive oil tasting because the president of the company actually is a qualified instructor to be able to go through an olive oil tasting. So we're gonna be inviting people like that as well to come.
Now I'm noticing some things that are not processed and packaged.
No.
It looks like those are home baked goodies you've got over there. So tell me a little bit about these while I have a bite.
Well, we were doing some testing yesterday, actually in my own kitchen, because we are going to be in a butter tart competition in a couple of weeks
So am I.
at the Culinary Studio. So we'll see you. You get first samplings.
Will not say anything, but we had a lot of fun practicing yesterday.
We tested 3 or 4 different types. We're going to distribute them to family and friends and
get some feedback.
We'll get some feedback, and we'll come up with the winning recipe.
I won't say anything because I'm going to be a judge in that competition.
Yes,
I won't tip my hat. I'll be fair to all the other contestants. Is this something that you're going to be offering for sale? Are you going to do bakery goods there? No, there'll be nothing that's baked goods there.
No, we won't. But we'll just have our classes, and you'll be able to sign up online, take the cooking classes. They're not going to, I shouldn't say they're not. It's hard to say. You will evolve as the customer demands. But right now our classes are scheduled. We have a wonderful variety of classes, both myself and Maria giving classes as well as other experts coming in. We have some really wonderful names of we've got Elizabeth Baird coming in October.
Wonderful.
Rose Murray. We have Yvonne Tremblay, who's a prize-winning preserving expert, grand champion winner from various things at the events at the Ontario Royal Agricultural Winter Fair.
Emily Richards.
Is coming.
And Dana Short. She's very popular.
We've got a wonderful chef. Actually, he doesn't want to call himself a chef. We have 2 chefs, actually, but we've got a wonderful chef who's actually one of our Waterloo firefighters, Patrick Mathieu, who's going to be teaching some classes. He actually has a catering. Well, no, actually, we will when we get to that time of the year, but right now he has a catering business. He actually lives in Brights Grove, Ontario, but he works for the Waterloo Region Fire Department.
Okay.
And I've actually been privy to some of his wonderful cooking, and he is just passionate about it. So he is so thrilled to be able to be a part of our team, which we're really happy about.
It's a great combination of stuff that's happening. There's cooking classes, weekly private, corporate. There's cook's tools, kitchenware and accessories, and there's recipe essentials, and both local and international.
Yeah.
Tell us where it's located, and people can take a check on it and give us a website URL that'll be live, I assume, soon.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We're right uptown Waterloo on 56 Regina Street North, right on the corner of Regina and Yonge Street. And we'll be opening by the end of August.
The website is
relishcookingstudio.com.
Yeah, so check it out. Thanks for joining us. It's Donna Marie Pye and Maria Berchowski of Relish Cooking Studio, a great new venture in Uptown Waterloo that I think adds more and more to the sort of the cooking culture that's around us.
Yeah.
But we're way past our time. We have to take a quick break. There's more on the Food Show when we return. We'll chat with the Bourbon Baker. This is 570 News.
This is the Food Show with Andrew Coppolino. To call Andrew, 519-570-2545. By cell, star 570. Or toll free, 1-800-570-5715.
Hey, good looking.
There's another cooking.
What you got
It's
How's about cooking
I don't know who this is.
something up with me?
I know it's
an old country.
old country, like
way before our time.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, we're back here for our final segment. A quick visit now. We've got a kind of an interesting guest next. She's been on the show before, and she's a local personality. If you're on the Twitterverse, you'll know her at the Bourbon Baker. The premise that she's come up with is simple. Hand someone a cookie, and it will change their day and maybe part of their life for the better. It started her handing out at various fire stations and shelters and to friends who were having a bad day. Then it turned into walking down King Street with a full bag of biscotti and handing them out randomly, which I think is a really nice thing to do. And to tell us a little bit more about that, Melissa Yaskevich is on the line. Hello, Melissa, the Bourbon Baker. Are you there?
I am here, Andrew. Thanks for...
This is a really exciting venture. I sort of gave it a very quick overview, but how did you come to decide that you were going to do this kind of an event where you're sort of handing out little treats to people on the street and sort of making a connection through food with some people that maybe need a little bit of a pickup?
Well, for me, being a baker, that's the best way I know how to show people that I love them is making food. So it started with friends and family and then just sort of ballooned. It was sort of healing for me to get me out to meet more people, and then it just turned into this, people are crying and saying, thank you for changing my day. And I was like, thank you for changing mine. So.
Yeah, I know exactly. I told this story a little while ago, but I had some fresh peas from the market, peas in a pod, and there was a gentleman on the street that was looking for money. I gave him some change that I had, and I said, here, buddy, try some of these, and I gave him a big handful of peas. He didn't even know how to eat them, so I showed him how to open them up, and the peas in the pod were in there, and he ate them, and his face just lit up, and that meant, I think, so much to both of us that I can appreciate exactly how you feel when you're doing this, when this kind of work. Now,
yeah, it's really amazing how much, something so simple, a mini change somebody's day.
Yeah, we're losing Melissa as well. Are you there, Melissa?
I am here.
You've formalized this a little bit. You're working with an organization called the KW Awesome Foundation.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
The KW Awesome Foundation is this that's recently off, but a spin-off foundations that are pretty much worldwide, I believe. And they have a group of trustees that each $100 their own money to put in some ideas to make it better. And luckily, this past Wednesday, I pitched the Food Love idea to them, along with 9 people, I believe, on how to make it a little bit better, and me $1,000.
All right, Melissa, thanks. We're sorry. We're going to have to cut you. The phone is dying on us here. We're not sure what's going on with the technical part of it, but sorry to have to cut you off. But what we should point out here is that the KW Awesome Foundation will be outfitting people with Food Love T-shirts, and they can promote this cause and be more recognizable to people in the general community. They'll have Food Love T-shirts will be available for sale in August, and all proceeds will go to the Ray of Hope organization, which is another really great organization locally here.
Yeah.
What Melissa's looking for, though, are more bakers. She's looking for people that can make stuff and that can help out with any way they can. She's had people donating 12 cookies. She's had people making 50 cupcakes. She needs team members to help out in this for this big event that's coming up on August 21st. So what I would recommend you do is to get to www.bourbonbaker.ca. There's some information there, and if you're able, as a baker type person, and you can contribute to this great organization, help out, and you can really make someone's day. I don't know, Donna Maria, whether you've ever done something
I
like
love
that.
to bake, so I can
maybe you can help out.
definitely hook up with her.
Yeah, exactly.
Good, yeah. Call her Melissa Yaskevich. She's a baker locally here, pastry chef locally here, and she has at Bourbon Baker if you want to visit her on Twitter, and the Bourbon Baker, bourbonbaker.ca on the website to find out a little bit more about this organization. And again, it's just that sort of feeling you get, I guess. Food is food. We eat it for sustenance. We eat it for enjoyment. But I think it really has a role in our greater community to sort of connecting us. And whether it's at a cooking school like your own, or whether it's just sort of handing out stuff on the street and making these bonds.
I think food is meant to share, for sure.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Well, that's just about it for the show. It goes very fast,
Time
doesn't
flies.
it, when you're
It
here?
does.
Yeah. I really want to thank you for joining us. It's Donna Marie Pye and Maria Borjowski of the Relish Cooking Studio. Visit them and learn a little bit about all the great stuff that they're offering. Please visit 570news.com for an archive of past shows, and you can follow the Food Show at twitter.com 570news 570 Food Show, and read my restaurant reviews and Echo weekly each Thursday. Join us next week for Anita Stewart and Food Day Canada, which is coming up July 30th. That's a great event, and we'll be talking with a couple of local chefs. They'll be joining us in the studio to tell us a little bit about that. Remember, eat wisely and eat well. And thank you for joining us here at the Food Show, and it's only on 570 News.